Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Look at everybody filing in. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name is Jim Tanner. I'm going to be your host for our incredible business overview. And I'm excited that you're here with us. We're just giving everybody a chance to get logged in, get your audio turned on. Your camera should come on if you'd like for it to. That's up to you. You'll find that most likely you can't unmute yourself if I've done this correctly. We just want to keep the noise down because you're going to be hearing a great presentation. We're going to respect your time. We're going to move quickly through this information, but we're going to give you great information. You're about to see something I saw for myself 2 decades ago, and it was completely life-changing, life-altering. It was transformative in nature. I know that's a bold promise, but I think you're going to agree with me that at the conclusion of our event here in just a handful of minutes, that this will have been transformative information for you. So I'm glad you're here with us. I'm going to come back and talk with you in a few moments, but to help kick us off today, I'm going to introduce my presentation partner and my business partner, Mr. John Fehrenbach. Now, he's in the Ohio market here in the United States. He's going to be sharing some information about our flagship products and our company to kick us off. John Fehrenbach is somebody that has been with us for a couple of years. This is a gentleman that has taken a leadership role, has said, hey, listen, I want to lead by example. And that's exactly what he's done. Coast to coast and border to border in the United States and Canada, he has been impacting the lives of everybody around him with this incredible company. This is someone who knows 100% of the information that you need to know tonight. He loves helping people. You're going to see that come through. It just comes out of his pores. It's in his DNA. And he also likes to have a lot of fun. And whether or not you can detect that tonight, I'll leave that up to you. But just get with me any other time off this Zoom, and I'll share a whole bunch of stories to prove that John Fehrenbach likes to have fun. John, I'm so excited to be here with you, to co-present with you. We're excited to hear from you. Take it away, sir.
Mr. Tanner, thank you very much. If the walls could talk, I suppose. I'm certainly excited to be here with you this evening, and we're just going to jump right into this here. If you'll give me a second just to share my screen. I don't know why my, excuse me. There we go. Can y'all see my screen? Thank you very much. I got to get a couple things out of my way here. A little bit of computer maintenance, I guess. There we go. Again, I'm excited to share this information with you all this evening. It was shared with me a little over 2 years ago. I'm going to direct most of my comments to all of our invited guests this evening. Somebody thought enough about you to invite you to this Zoom to learn about the impact that we're having coast to coast in the US and Canada. We're certainly glad that you're here with us. We're going to be talking about your opportunity and your freedom. What we know is that the world has changed forever, and people want choices. They want income choices. They're choosing a better work-life balance. They're choosing more flexibility and independence. In these uncertain times, I'm certain it makes some sense to have some sort of backup plan. So people are looking for that backup plan. For me, the backup plan is to work some type of business. I knew I could count on me. I've never been fired or laid myself off, given myself a stern warning now and again for not doing what I'm supposed to do. But I knew that I'd be building for a future that I could never do as an employee. We're going to talk more about this in a few minutes, but some of you are here because you're evaluating your opportunities in the marketplace, maybe as you pivot to a new career or maybe as a backup plan. We'll be sharing information this evening for your consideration. But before we do that, with your permission, I'd like to ask a question. Are you working for the right type of income? We know that there's basically 3 different forms of income. First off, there's linear income, where you're trading time for money. You might even consider this a regular job, where you've signed up to work 40 hours a week for a certain hourly pay. Linear income, you go in, you put in your 40 hours, they hand you a check that's equal to the amount that you agreed upon for working those 40 hours. The end, no more, no less. Then there's leveraged income, where you might build a team, leverage the income potential of not just one, maybe yourself, but by a multiple of team members. An example of that might be a broker. They have a product or service such as real estate or insurance, and they have a bunch of agents out there selling, and the broker gets a piece of each and every sale. So that's leveraged income, where you're leveraging their time as well. And then there's residual income. This is where the work you do today, tomorrow, maybe next week or next month will continue to pay off for years to come. This could be your retirement plan. This is very similar to the royalties music artists and actors get every time their song is played or a movie or TV series is aired. It's literally disconnecting time from money. I've heard this called rollover money, where you roll over in bed and the money just never stops. We'll be discussing a little bit more about this in detail a little later. Now let's stop to consider the company. Basically, we know that there's 5 areas to evaluate when you're looking at a company. You're looking for a company that's rock solid and has stood the test of time. Startups can be a bunch of fun, but the upside and downside is certainly unpredictable and crazy volatile. We want to know if there's a need in the marketplace for their product. And does their product fill that need in an easy to use manner? And then on a compensation side of it, are you compensated well for sharing the product with other people? And we need to know if the timing is right. Is this the right time for the company and its products? Well, let me tell you a little bit about our company. This is our founder, Harlan Stonecipher. And we say from an accident, a mission was born. He was in a car accident where he wasn't at fault. The other party who caused the accident was even cited by the State Highway Patrol. And while he was recuperating in the hospital from his injuries, an attorney had convinced the other party to file a lawsuit against Mr. Stonecipher. He drained most of his life savings defending himself. Now, he was a full-time teacher and an insurance agent, and he started to think about his particular situation. He noted that he had car insurance that replaced his car. He had health insurance that handled all the hospital bills, and had something tragic happened. He had life insurance to take care of his family, but he had nothing to help him with a lawsuit. So from that accident, a mission was born: equal access to justice. From his kitchen table to this home office in Ada, Oklahoma, this 51-year-old company is protecting and empowering over 4.4 million people across the US and Canada. Our vision? To provide equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves. You'll see us written up in CNBC, Forbes, Bloomberg, and Yahoo, and on the Better Business Bureau. This company has been traded on the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, and then was acquired by MidOcean Partners for $650 million and is currently valued at over $2 billion. Now, you might ask, why? Well, we've mastered this thing called disruptive innovation. What is disruptive innovation? Well, I'm sure a lot of you on this call remember shopping at the mall or going to the store to buy a pair of shoes or pants, whatever it might be, socks. I don't know why undergarments popped into my brain, but you all remember doing that. Well, now all you need to do is pull up this app on your phone from your couch, and with a click of a few buttons, you can purchase your socks, your pants, your hats, your gloves, toys, whatever it might be, right from an app on your phone. Disruptive innovation, making things simpler, easier, and more affordable. I don't know if anybody here remembers going to the music store to either rifle through records that are on CDs or vinyl, 8-track tapes for those of you that are as old as I am. Today, with an app like Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, you can pull up any song, any genre, hit a button, and the next thing you know, you're listening to it. And you've never left your couch. Well, what about getting access to the justice system? Well, that's where we come in. So let's take a moment to just consider the following things. I don't know if you've ever thought about writing or revising your will. They say about 30%, only 30% of the people across the US and Canada have a will written. That means 70% of the people across the US and Canada don't have a will. Some refer to this as the last love letter to your family. You let them know what you want after you've died, how you want your funeral, how you want your money split up, whatever it is. It's how you let your family know what's going on. I don't know if you've ever been notified that your personal information was compromised. I swear to goodness, it happened every couple of days there for a while. Have you been treated unfairly or said, let me speak to your supervisor? Have you been a victim or breach of identity theft? Maybe signed a contract you didn't understand, or maybe regretted signing that contract later and wondered what your legal rights were. Maybe you received a traffic ticket and just couldn't afford it. You might lose a job because of that traffic ticket that you just got. Maybe you've had an insurance claim denied that you thought you were covered for and just needed advice on that. Had questions regarding your credit score. Maybe bought a defective product and wondered what your rights were. Maybe your social media account was hacked. Well, that is where these are certainly everyday normal things that happen to us. And we probably wouldn't even consider reaching out to an attorney just because of the expense. Now, with the tap of the app, we're connected to an attorney for all of those everyday issues. And we call this Legal Shield. This is what the Legal Shield app looks like if you were to put it on your phone. Imagine this on your phone. And with the tap of the app, you're connected to our network of attorneys. There's no need to vet them. Legal Shield has already done that for you. You're going to talk to the right attorney for your particular situation. Now, you might ask, well, you know what? I'm not in trouble. I don't need attorneys. Well, let's talk about that for a minute, okay? What you get when you have a Legal Shield membership. First off, you're going to get personal legal advice, and that's unlimited personal issues. So any question that you have that might have a legal lien or you think you might need a legal advice on, you can reach out to your attorney, the attorney network, and they will give you that personal legal advice that you need. They'll look at contracts and documents before you sign them so you don't get in trouble after you sign them or they're trying to figure out how to get you out of a particular contract. They'll make calls, send letters on your behalf, of course, if it's in your best interest. And life events. We already talked about a will. Only 70% of the people don't have wills. So on this call, if there's 10 people on this call, 7 of you don't have wills done. If there's 20 people on this call, 14 of you. Traffic ticket assistance for moving violations. I mean, they will go to court for you if that's what it takes. Civil trial defenses are covered if you're ever named in a civil trial. And of course, tax audit assistance. If for some reason the IRS comes knocking on your door, you can get tax audit assistance from our attorneys. And there's 24/7 emergency protection. Now you say, what do you need that for? Well, you know what? You just don't know. Some evening you're driving home at 2 o'clock in the morning and you get stopped for whatever the reason is and you're about to be detained. That's when you would use your emergency protection. It's not necessarily that you did anything wrong. Wrong place, right place, wrong time. And you need that 24/7 emergency protection. They also do family and domestic services, uncontested divorce, adoption, separation, and name change. They take care of all of those things for you. And if you noticed, I haven't mentioned anything about you doing anything wrong. It's normal, everyday things that happen to us. And we do this all for $29.95 a month. You're covered by all of these things. An attorney will take care of whatever legal issues that you might run into. Now, you might ask who's covered. Well, the member's covered, of course. The member's spouse or domestic partner, the never married dependent children under the age of 26 living at home, or a full-time student, dependent children under the age of 18 for whom the member is a legal guardian, and any physically or mentally disabled children living at home. This is our Legal Shield plan. It's plain, it's simple, it's practical. Our other flagship product is called ID Shield. I'm sure you already, excuse me. All right, a little glitch in the electronics here this evening. Sorry about that. So our ID Shield product does what you might expect any type of ID protection to do. It monitors and pays attention to and alerts you if there's any issues that pertain to your credit score, maybe your social security number, your driver's license, maybe an email or a phone number. things that they find on the dark web, including usernames and passwords. It also does privacy and social media reputation management. It uses proprietary technology to pay attention to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you allow it to look at. And if there's anything that's derogatory or it perceives to be derogatory or something that would be bad against your ID, it'll send you an alert and say, hey, this is going on. Pay attention to this. Now, I'm sure that I don't have to tell you folks this, but your ID is not just your credit score. Your ID is what people say about you. It's what people talk about you in other rooms when you're not in the room. Your ID is who you are and who you portray yourself to be. We also have comprehensive restoration. If your ID is ever stolen, we have licensed private investigators that do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity back to that pre-theft status. And I think, honestly, this is where we stand out far and away from everybody else as these private investigators. A lot of companies hand you a sheet of paper and say, here's the 17 or 27 things that you need to do to get your ID back. And people spend hours upon hours. I think the average is 600 or 700 hours trying to get their ID restored when they've had a pretty sizable breach of their identification. Our private investigators take that time and get you back to that pre-theft status. We also have included with the ID Shield plan is a suite of digital protection. Trend Micro is a cloud-based AI protection against malware. It protects up to 10 devices. We have VPN Proxy One. Anytime you're in a public network, your information is encrypted and protected against prying eyes. And then, of course, we have a password manager. It puts you in control of your passwords, identifying weak passwords, and helps to block dangerous websites. We also have credit counseling and education, and of course, privacy management. An individual plan is $19.95, and a family plan is $34.95. Now, who's covered? In the individual plan, the member's covered. In the family plan, the member, of course, the member's spouse and domestic partner, and dependent children under the age of 18. And then dependent children ages 18 to 26 have consultation and restoration services. And of course, we couldn't leave this evening without talking about this. We have what we call member perks, and we have over 400 different vendors that are vying for your business with discounts and promotions. Typically, this is enough to offset your Legal Shield and ID Shield memberships. You know what? I'm going to bring Mr. Tanner back. He's certainly my friend and business partner, but we all love our member perks, and he has some great stories about his member perks and how he uses them. Mr. Tanner, back to you.
Well, thank you very much, John. And I'm going to just switch to my screen share, but I do love the member perks. So somebody might say, does he really love it? He does, because I'll tell you what, for member perks, here's what I can say for sure in my family is that the savings we realize with member perks between Disney Plus and traveling, between our cell phone contracts and hardware and software that we buy, all of these things combined, our investment in Legal Shield and ID Shield on a monthly basis is totally offset by the member perks program, which is important because we're here to talk about the opportunity with you. That, as John was saying, that's why you're invited. By the way, John, great job talking about our company, our founder, Harlan Stonecipher, talking about Legal Shield and ID Shield, these flagship products. By the way, the Legal Shield membership that I got myself at the age of 19. So a gentleman came into where I worked. I'll just say this quickly. He came into my job. I had a job delivering furniture in Whitehall, New York. He came in. It happened to be my lunch break. So I was in the store. And he said, hey, I just want to show this to you. So I said, yes. And he showed me Legal Shield. And I remember thinking, as long as he says a price I can afford, I am getting this. And I did. Now, I didn't know that I was going to need it right away. And I did need it right away because so some of you walked into this presentation today saying, I don't know if I'd ever need that. I'm telling you, you don't know that you will need it because you will. It's so obvious now that John did such a great presentation. But I'll tell you what, just a couple of weeks after I signed up, I had a landlord tell me that I wasn't getting my security deposit back. I hadn't broken the lease. I didn't damage the property. He just didn't think I had any recourse. And I remember talking to my attorneys to tell them what was going on. The fact was, I was a broke kid at 19 years old. If my landlord didn't give me that security deposit back, I wasn't going to be able to move. I couldn't afford to move if he did that. So I was stuck. And this was urgent, and this was a big deal for me. Now, $500 might not be the whole world to you, but I'm telling you, it was to me, and it is to a lot of people. And I don't think I could have hired an attorney for $500 an hour to solve a $500 problem. I certainly wouldn't have known who to call or who to trust. But because I had Legal Shield, I picked up the phone, I called them, I told them the situation. You know what they did? They sent a letter. They overnighted at Federal Express because of the time constraints. And when he got that letter from my law firm telling him as my landlord that I had representation, that they knew what my rights were, they knew what the law was, and in that letter they explicitly said what they were going to do next if he didn't turn that deposit over to me. He called me at work and he said, Jim, come and get this check. I don't want any problems from your lawyers. That's the power of having peace of mind. And I have never been pushed around or bullied in the American economy my entire adult life. So when I talk passionately about the mission of equal access to the justice system, of having a voice and advocacy, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, it was only a few months later when I just in a momentary lapse of judgment got a speeding ticket. Now I'll tell you, I'm a safe driver. You want to know why? I can prove it because in my entire life, I'm nearly 50 years old. I have 3 stories about getting a speeding ticket. This is the first one. That means that I pay attention to the speed limits. I pay attention. But I did, as a young man at almost 20 years old, get a speeding ticket in a place where I guess I just wasn't paying attention. Some people might call it a speed trap. I'm not going to assign that title to it, but I guess I wasn't paying attention to a change in the speed limit. Now, I was a guy with a full-time job and a part-time job. I was working and commuting 80 hours a week, and I still was choosing routinely between food and gas. In other words, I was on a razor's edge economically. I could not afford to have points on my license and to have my insurance go up. I mean, who thinks that insurance rate should be higher right now? Any of you? Of course not, right? So as that kid, wondering what I was going to do and having the speeding ticket in my hand, I called Legal Shield. This is the second time I ever used my law firm. They sent an attorney. He happened to be the former district attorney, by the way, now in private practice. And he walked into that courtroom with me. And, you know, everybody in that courtroom, from the judge to the bailiffs to everybody in the administrative office, knew exactly who that lawyer was. And then what they were wondering was, who is this kid that had this high power lawyer? And the power of this is this. He talked to the judge. We went first because the judge respected the lawyer's time, not my time. I remember him saying, hey, who here has a lawyer? And they let us go first because I had a lawyer. He said a few things to the judge. The judge agreed that it was a one-time mistake. You know, things happened. He hit the gavel down and we were out. I was back. I had taken the day off from work. I was at work before lunch. Peace of mind of knowing that I had a voice in advocacy, someone who knew the law. And by the way, I've heard this many times, and I think you should write this down if you're taking notes. Sometimes it's good to know the law. Sometimes it's better to know the judge. And that was the case that day because my lawyer knew the judge, right? So what I'm saying to you is the peace of mind of the wealthiest Americans and Canadians, the peace of mind of knowing that they have advocacy, a voice and rights now comes to every member of Legal Shield. And the peace of mind of knowing that when identity theft, that tsunami lands at your front door, the peace of mind of knowing that real experts, not you and me trying to figure it out, but real experts come in and solve the problem while we live our lives. So yes, I'm passionate about what we do. And when we talk about the opportunity where we get to market these 2 services and at the same time have member perks offset the investment in those services, which means it puts it within reach of just about every family, now you have a significant business opportunity. And let me talk to you quickly about that opportunity. Because here's some smiling faces. These are real people, by the way. These are friends of mine. These are folks that we can call on the phone. These are people that are winning in this business. But let's talk about the compensation. See, now that you know that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists, you are going to tell people about Legal Shield and ID Shield anyway. Let me just say this to you. Can you imagine yourself in line at the grocery store tomorrow and you overhear a couple talking about getting their will done and lamenting the cost and the confusion and the expense and the intimidation factor of getting it done, knowing they need to do it, but not knowing how to even get started? You're not going to tap them on the shoulder and say, excuse me, I'm not trying to overhear what you're saying, but I was in a presentation yesterday and I know exactly how you can get your will done. Of course you're going to do that. Are you telling me you're going to have a friend of yours say, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do? You know, my daughter's just about to go away to college. I'm sick with worry that she's going to be in a situation where she's the good kid in the wrong place at the wrong time. You're not going to tell that person about Legal Shield so that they can have that app on their phone, so that every one member of their family can have the app on their phone, so that at 2:00 in the morning, good kid, wrong place, wrong time can tap that app and have legal rights that some of the wealthiest Americans don't have at 2:00 in the morning. You're not going to share the story? Of course you are. So the fact is, and that was my story, by the way, because at 19 years old, when I saw the membership and it worked for me, I started telling everybody about it. I told friends and family and coworkers and people at church for a decade of my life before I saw the opportunity that you're seeing today. See, I'd seen and recognized the membership, owned the membership, and had a great result from it. That's how I knew that it was real. That's how I knew that it worked. And then I was telling people about it because it's the right thing to do. I mean, this is so much more than recommending a movie. This is so much more than recommending a good restaurant. What you're doing is recommending a way that people can make different decisions in their lives that will benefit their peace of mind. And so now that you know that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists, you're going to share this anyway. All I'm saying is let's compensate you for doing that. Because 10 years later, when I saw that I could get compensated for doing what I was already doing for free, I was saying I am in. And some of you have already said that for yourself tonight. So how do we get compensated? Well, first of all, we recommend these services. And we do that by sharing a video with a presentation like you've seen from John Fehrenbach tonight, inviting people to live events like this event that you're experiencing here tonight. In other words, you don't have to learn the presentation. You don't have to master it like so many of our leaders have done. You can just invite people to see the presentation for themselves, and then they can sign up on your website, which takes about 3 minutes, by the way. A website that our company is going to give you and set up for you instantly. And you can earn anywhere from $70 to $370 every time somebody goes to your website and signs up for these services off of your recommendation. That's the linear income that John was talking about in the beginning when he was talking about the different forms of income. But then you also have the ability to earn leveraged income, where you can share not just the services, but you can also share the opportunity. The only regret I have in my life, and I have lived this robust life with very, very few regrets, except one, that the gentleman that shared the membership with me when I was 19 years old did not also reveal to me the opportunity. For the reasons I've already said, because I spent 10 years of my life telling people about Legal Shield for free. But only if he had shared with me the opportunity, well, you get to do that. And then you can earn what's called leveraged income, just like a real estate broker working with real estate agents earns leveraged income off the success of those agents that they're supporting, just like an insurance broker earns leveraged income from the insurance agents that they're supporting. You having a team allows you the ability to share the opportunity and earn a leveraged income, disconnecting your time from money off of the associates in the field that you have shown this opportunity to. And you can earn a significant income. I'm going to show you in another slide, and then we're going to get out of here in a few minutes. But that's leverage income, earning income when someone on your team recommends these services to a family or a business owner, an individual, a commercial truck driver, and they get these services. Then we have residual income. And this is what created the wealth that has completely transformed the way my family lives. Listen, we just went through this COVID era. And I don't mind talking about this because I experienced a place of privilege during this time. You know, March, April 2020, when we had more questions than answers because of residual income from this business, which means that money was dropped into my bank account every single day. Because of this business, I didn't have to make the choices, the tough, gut-wrenching choices that so many people had to make. I could stay home and wait and watch and let it all play out. And again, that was a position of privilege, but it's a position that's enjoyed by 30,000 of our associates earning monthly residual income. How do we earn residual income in this business? Just like if you invent something and then you patent that invention, you license the patent, and you get paid every time somebody uses it. Just like if you're an actor or an actress and you perform in a movie and you get paid every time that movie plays on Netflix or in the movie theater. Just like if you created a piece of music and every time that piece of music runs on Spotify or Amazon Music, you get paid a percentage on that's called a royalty or residual income. And we have that here too. Because on every one of these subscribers, these members that we call our customers, we call them members, when they sign up for these services, you get paid up front, but then every month, from month after month, year after year, and even decade after decade in the future, as long as they keep their membership, you can continue earning monthly residual income. The gentleman that walked into the place I worked at when I was 19 years old and signed me up for a membership, I talked to him one time that year, 1994. And he has been getting paid a monthly residual income on my membership every month for the last 30 years. Let me ask you a question. What did you get paid on today that you did 30 years ago? That's the question, because that's residual income. And we have opportunities to earn bonuses as well. I could talk about this a lot, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go quickly. This is our compensation plan. When I delivered furniture for a living, when I worked at the mall for a living, when I was trying to pay my bills, trading time for money with just linear income, somebody else always decided when I got a raise, and they usually decided I didn't deserve one. But in our company, you are in complete control of your promotions, raises, increases, and your career. There's no glass ceilings here. As a new associate getting started, as I said, you can earn $70 every time you recommend someone that signs up on your website. That moves to $90 as you protect a few families, moves up to $120, all the way up to $370 for recommending these services to people they join on your website. And by moving quickly and protecting a few families when you're brand new, we have a fast start program that allows you to earn a total of $700 in bonuses, moving to senior associate and then manager in a couple of these quick timelines, 20 days and 45 days. And we'll teach you all that in our fast start class. That's $700 in bonus money for a new associate. I don't know if you can think of something to do with $700 around the holidays, but if you can't, I'll give you my address. You can send it to me. And I know that's not going to ever happen, right? I mean, the $700 is significant. That's on top of the compensation that our company pays out just for you recommending the services. Now, why can the company pay out these significant amounts of money? Because people that get a Legal Shield membership and use their Legal Shield membership, keep their Legal Shield membership for a lifetime, which means that the lifetime value of a customer is astronomical. That's why today we are a multi-billion-dollar company, because people sign up for these services and keep these services. And then you'll see on the far right-hand side, team overrides, you can earn up to $300 when somebody on your team signs somebody up for these services. Isn't that powerful? That out of a completely separate bucket. See, your team members are getting compensated when they sign people up. And then from a completely separate budgeted bucket, you're getting compensated in team overrides from those team members signing up folks for the plan. Powerful. Now, it's a serious business. We do like to have fun, but it's a serious business. The compensation is certainly serious. As a matter of fact, just protecting 4 families a month, if that was your cadence of protecting 4 families a month, you can earn anywhere from $300 to almost $2,300 a month just in income from signing those folks up. And if you taught a team of 25 people to do the same thing, you're talking about over $125,000 a year. So the income is significant. The services we bring to the community is significant. We also like to have fun. I've asked a couple of my business partners to also chime in tonight, and I'm gonna turn it over to them in a second. But we have a performance club program that allows you to earn additional cash bonuses every month, anywhere from a couple of $100s a month up to $500 a month in performance club cash bonuses. That's an additional $6,000 a year. And as you're probably guessing from the photos you see on the screen, we also go on trips. And every year we go on a trip somewhere around the world. John Fehrenbach will tell you another time about his trip to Hawaii. We just went to Hawaii. We've been on trips all over the world, walking the beaches of the world, and we're about to go to Jamaica. You deserve a vacation. And our company provides a trip for 2, all expenses paid, no expenses spared. Your airfare, your accommodations, all your food, and all your fun. And we'd love to have you there on the next trip with us. So I'm going to turn it over to a couple of my friends so you can hear from them as well while I catch my breath. I'm going to start by going to the state of South Carolina to Miss Venus Powers. Venus?
Hey, Jim, thank you so much. I have a background actually in startup companies, and so I know how they fluctuate, and I know how unstable that type of work is. And so you never know in a startup company whether your company is going to be bought or sold and whether or not you're going to be a part of that acquisition. You know, I moved on from that to working for a company that was owned by sole proprietors, and I received several bonuses annually because we had such great clients and we had such great retention. And after about 6.5 years in that company, they started making bad business decisions, and my bonuses were based on budget, not my performance. And I learned from a 20-minute video that I could have bonuses based on my activity, based on my work, based on my consistency, and it wasn't based on a bonus. That if I did the work and I was at the level, I made the money. And I also received, the most incredible thing is to be a part of a team of people that supports you not only professionally, but through self-development. And they're always there for you no matter what you need. And that's what I gained by becoming a Legal Shield associate. Thank you, Mr. Tanner.
Venus, thank you very much. And now let's go to Tennessee. I guess I assembled everybody on the East Coast tonight, but let's go down to Tennessee to Mr. Chris Corley. Chris.
Thank you so much, Jim. Great job presenting. Great job, John. I enjoyed it tremendously. Yeah, 6 years ago, I was unemployed. Now, my background is in education. I was a music teacher. My wife was working double shifts as a waitress at Texas Roadhouse. And nothing wrong with being a teacher and nothing wrong with being a waitress. It's just that my wife didn't want to do that. She wanted to stay at home and have flexibility to educate her children the way that she wanted to. And I was a teacher, but I love what I did, but I was kind of broke all the time, even really at the top of the food chain of teaching. So I was working really hard. I didn't have much extra money at all. And we had a growing family. But being unemployed, I saw this amazing opportunity, a presentation, just like Mr. Tanner, you and John did. And I was sold. I was looking for, where do I sign up? How do I get these memberships and protect my family? How do I get started with the opportunity? And where are my mentors? I was looking for business mentors like all of you to really get started. Like now, they were offering some great bonuses on the table. I worked real hard, got them, and got to executive director. And I was able to change my zip code. We moved from Pennsylvania down to Tennessee, purchased a home with a little bit of land. And man, I am telling you, 6 years in, I am just getting started. I'm so grateful that I took the time and trusted myself and the presentation to get started. And I'm telling you, the rest, the best is yet to come. Thank you so much, Jim, for inviting me to share.
Thanks, Chris, so much. I appreciate that. I just love getting other voices included so that you can hear it. Listen, folks all around you, people in your community are winning in this business. We protect the folks that you call your neighbors in this business, right? Millions of people sleep better at night because of our services. Now, I just want you to know, as you're looking at the opportunity, there's a place for you, whether you're part-time, spare time, you want to make this your career, you want to do this in slices of time or stolen moments, Legal Shield will meet you where you are and allow you to grow to wherever you want to go next. We encourage you to set a bigger vision and a bigger goal, but isn't it great that wherever you are today, we can help you fit this business into your life? And we've had only a few moments to talk to you about our Legal Shield and ID Shield flagship products. But the fact is, we also help small business owners with their small businesses, because the fact is that 60% of small businesses reported that they had legal issues and they did not take on attorneys to solve those legal issues because of the cost. Meaning that the small business owners on your Main Street USA in Canada are at a disadvantage when competing with Fortune 500 companies that have a general counsel and legal teams internally. But we right that wrong and level that playing field for small business owners. Some of you would love to be involved in helping small business owners that way, and also by helping them by bringing Legal Shield and ID Shield into their employee benefits portfolio so that they can attract the best talent to their company and then retain those great people. Well, we have that in our wheel of opportunity as well. You can meet with business owners and help them add Legal Shield and ID Shield to their voluntary benefit offerings. And then you can sign up dozens or even hundreds of employees on the job site, and the employees get not only a discount on the rate, but also the convenience of payroll deduction. As a matter of fact, today, 35,000 companies offer Legal Shield and ID Shield as a voluntary employee benefit. What about commercial truck drivers? Some of you know those folks that drive our economy by driving the goods across the map. Well, we have a plan to protect commercial truck drivers and their interests as they operate their businesses. And you'll see on your screen legal plan supplements. The fact is, whether you're a gun owner or you're somebody that uses your private vehicle to do commercial work like Uber and Lyft drivers, or a variety of other ways that you need legal help, we have supplements that reach every corner of every community to speak to the needs of every citizen. And that's what our Wheel of Opportunity really represents. So John showed you this at the beginning, the 5 areas to evaluate, because we know that if you're looking, you're looking. So we want to make sure you're making apples to apples comparisons. What about a company? We've got a company that's a half century in business. Started from need, not started from greed. A company that started on Harlan Stonecipher's kitchen table became a $1 billion company, and now a $2 billion company. Is there a need in the marketplace? Well, just look around you. Do you see people that are getting sick and tired of being sick and tired? They don't want to be bullied or pushed around. They'd love to have a voice and advocacy. They'd love to walk around with their shoulders back and their heads up, but they don't because they're voiceless in their community. There is a need. What about a product that serves that need? Do we have the product? I mean, have we not just reduced the price, taken hundreds of dollars an hour legal services and shrunk it down to $1 a day for an entire family? Sure, but that's only where the product begins. Because what we've also done is we've made the attorneys accountable to make sure that when you call in, you are that law firm's most important client. You're not going to get the runaround, and you're not going to wonder if you're going to get a call back, because we have a service level agreement that makes sure that you are treated with white glove treatment all along the way, meaning that you get to feel good when you use this product. And that's a product like no other. When I got started, your Legal Shield membership was really a laminated plastic card that you put in your wallet with your law firm's phone number on it. And that at the time was the most powerful card in my wallet. But today, with our mobile phone app, the ability for you to take a picture of a document or a speeding ticket or something that you need to communicate to your law firm, to be able to have it instantly and securely go to that law firm, to be able to have two-way communication with your attorneys. In other words, the product today is like it's never been before, and that has been propelling our growth. What about compensation? With 1 year advance commission up front, with the ability to build a team and earn leveraged income, with the ability to create an asset called a residual book of business, an asset that you own that pays out month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And by the way, not just for the lifetime of you, the associate, but for the lifetime of the member, which means that's willable to your estate. You're creating legacy income. My original mentor, Wilburn Smith, passed away after living a full and robust life and helping pioneer this company with a $2.4 million a year residual income. Now, I don't want to go tomorrow, and I don't want you to go either, but wouldn't it feel good to know that you set up your family in that significant of a way? Our compensation allows you to do that. And what about the timing? Fact is, some of you came into this presentation saying, hey, listen, 51-year-old company, I guess I had to get here 51 years ago. Reality is that today is the day. Right now is the time. There's never been momentum like we have today. With our company and all of the leadership in place, with the technology and the tools, with the realities of the world around us, as you've seen, this disruptive innovation, where we stand alongside things like Netflix and Spotify. We stand alongside things like Uber and Lyft and Airbnb. And today, people expect to be able to pull out their phone and have everything they need at the touch of a button, and that's exactly what we do. Your timing could not be any better to become an associate. You can start part-time, work from anywhere. Again, you're creating a willable book of business for you and your family into the future. Residual income for the lifetime of every membership you put in the books. We have training classes to help you get started quickly. We call that Fast Start to Success, and that will focus on helping you capture that $700 in bonus money that's on the table for new associates. Ongoing weekly trainings, so that you never have to wonder what to do or how to do it, because we're always there to support you along the way on your growth journey, and alignment with personal mentors. Let me just pause right there. You've been to presentations in the past, whether in person or over Zoom, where somebody said that you were going to have support, only to find out what they really meant was you were going to get some brochures and a pep talk, like go get them, Tiger. That's not how things happen here. We rise together. And you will have alignment with personal mentors and people that want to help you win in this business. We know we rise together. We are in alignment and focused on our mission, which is to bring equal access to equal justice to every corner of every community. And this is a business that you can start right now for only $49. Now, listen, I'm out of time. I could talk about this company and the transformative nature of it for as long as I have, but this is all the time I have. Here's what you need to do. It takes 3 minutes to get started. If you're not sitting next to the person that invited you tonight, you're just going to text them so they can give you their website link. If you're sitting next to them, hug them, at least high five them. if you're not in a hugging situation, but you want to enroll in these services. Get Legal Shield and ID Shield to protect yourself and your family if you have one, and also become an associate. For only $49 one time, you get to join us on the journey and join us in bringing equal access to your community, to the justice system, peace of mind to the community members. And we're going to teach you how to get Fast Start qualified in your first 20 days to pick up the first section of that $700 bonus, and also how to continue that, pick up all the bonus money that's on the table and everything else that's out there and available to us. Listen, I'm out of time. I want you to get back to the person that invited you tonight. Thanks to John Fehrenbach for kicking us off, Venus Powers and Chris Corley for sharing their story. But to all of you, I just want to say sincerely, for those of you that are about to get started with us, congratulations. You're about to walk through a door I walked through 20 years ago. And my life has never been the same. And I promise you, yours won't either. So I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. Again, congratulations to those of you getting started, and welcome to Legal Shield. Good night, everybody.